Have you ever even heard of Apple making a new product cheaper than its predecessor? Isn't it wild? Apple released a new version of the Apple TV 4K, and it's got all the features the previous TV box has. It even has an upgraded A15 Bionic chip powering it, and it's smaller and more compact for something that powerful. All that, and it's 150 ringgit cheaper? Is there a catch to all this? Let's find out. If you didn't know already, the Apple TV 4K is Apple's very own TV box. A lot like the other TV boxes you're probably familiar with, like Android ones or even Astro's TV boxes. The Apple TV 4K is essentially a premium TV box, and I've covered what it is basically in my first review of the earlier version of the box before. You can watch it by clicking the link in the description after this video. So what does the Apple TV 4K provide users as a premium TV box? Well, if you're already knee-deep into Apple's own ecosystem, you might not be able to go without it after trying it out. Sure, it basically gives you the same thing a much cheaper TV box can give you. You're able to watch shows on your favorite programs, listen to music, and even play games. But you're doing all that with Apple's sleek signature UI and Apple's sleek, tiny TV remote, complete with the satisfying scroll wheel that you miss on old iPods. And if you already own an iPhone, navigating the Apple TV 4K is so much easier because you can just use the keyboard. Admittedly, you're paying more money for the Apple tax. But what's so special about this new version of the Apple TV 4K? Let's go over some key features. A difference you'd first notice between the older version of the TV 4K and the newer version is its size. The new Apple TV 4K is slightly thinner, weighing almost half of its previous version. Apple upgraded its internals from an A12 Bionic to an A15 Bionic, which is the same chip that's powering the iPhone 13 and the iPhone 14. According to Apple, the new chip upgrade provides 50% better CPU and 30% better GPU performance than its predecessor. And since the new chip is more efficient, Apple believes there's no need for an internal fan, which can explain the size difference. And you can get two versions of the new Apple TV 4K. For its 64GB base model, you can get the Wi-Fi only version, which doesn't have an Ethernet port, but you likely won't even need it anyway. If you insist on an Ethernet port, you can still get the higher 128GB model, which costs 100 ringgit more. Both versions have Wi-Fi capabilities as well as an HDMI port, AirPlay, and Bluetooth. As for its remote, it's just as small and pretty as its predecessor. But if you've had the much older TV remote, you'd appreciate that its newer ones now charge via USB-C instead of the old Lightning port. The only qualm I really have with it is that the whole set still doesn't come with its own HDMI cable. So if you don't have one on hand already, you'd have to prepare to fork out more money for one. Or else you can't start watching anything with it. With the power of the A15 chip, Apple offers HDR10+ support. So, what is HDR10+? According to Apple, it's used for 4K TVs that support HDR10+ to display videos dynamically, and with an even more accurate range of color, contrast, and luminance than standard HDR. HDR10+ joins Dolby Vision on Apple TV 4K, so users can watch more stuff in the best quality possible on more kinds of TVs. If you've already had a TV supporting Dolby Vision, you probably won't bat an eye at the change. A lot of more TVs have support for HDR10 and HDR10+. It's best to check if your current TV supports either HDR10 or Dolby Vision. With that brand new internal facelift, you're able to watch your favorite shows on Netflix, YouTube, Apple TV+, and other platforms in dynamic colors and displays. And I mean, you don't even have to subscribe to any extra Apple services if you don't want to either. You can install whatever streaming platform you want to whatever music platform you want, and you can still enjoy Apple TV 4K as a vessel for entertainment that you love. But I guess if you already have the Apple TV 4K, spending 29 ringgit 90 cent a month for the Apple One plan can give your TV box more value. The Apple One plan includes Apple Music, Apple TV+, Apple Arcade, and iCloud Plus. Paying the premium plan will also give you access to Apple Fitness Plus. Okay, so in my opinion, you don't really need all of this if you don't use them. You can probably use the free trial to see if you could give up Spotify for Apple Music and give up Netflix for Apple TV. So it all depends on what you prefer and if you don't mind paying extra for those extra services. But would you really give up Stranger Things and a huge collection of Netflix's stuff for, what does Apple TV have? Maybe like 3 or 4 good shows? If you're a Spotify or YouTube Music person, you could probably live without Apple Music as well. But there is a new feature that you can only access on your iPhone, iPad, and this new Apple TV 4K. And it's quite fun. Apple Music now has its own karaoke feature. Sure, it's brand new, so not all songs are compatible with the feature, but you can find plenty of lists for Apple Sing and start going to town. Select a song in an Apple Music Sing list and select the microphone icon. Use the volume button to control the level of the vocals and follow along with the lyrics.
So right in the eye, and you say, I wanna dance, the music's got me going, and nothing that will stop how we move.
If you want to pump more adrenaline in you, you can now access Fitness Plus without an Apple Watch. Previously, you needed one to sync up with Fitness Plus on the TV, but now you could just fire up a class without needing a watch. So if you're not into adding your health data, you could try out Apple's huge collection of workout videos, as they add new ones pretty often. Another new feature on the Apple TV 4K is its Siri Voice Recognition feature. So you can ask Siri to play specific artists, songs, recommend what you want to watch right from your homepage, yada yada yada. But it's also able to recognize your voice and switch to your Apple TV user profile if you have more than one user in your household. As for the other features on the Apple TV 4K, they seem pretty similar as when I reviewed it last time. The 128 GB Apple TV 4K with Wi-Fi and Ethernet that I tested out is priced at 799 ringgit, while the 64 GB Apple TV 4K with just Wi-Fi is priced at 699 ringgit. The most expensive Apple TV 4K is 50 ringgit cheaper than the 32 GB older version, so you're definitely getting more bang for your buck now. If you've been thinking about getting yourself one, the newer version is the way to go. You get all the good new perks and you're still paying way less for it. Of course, this premium TV box is still a lot more expensive than something like a Xiaomi Mi box, which costs just around 200 ringgit. So if you don't mind not having your TV experience fit with your Apple ecosystem, you could save a lot of money. Overall, the new Apple TV 4K is fancy and it's nice to have, and it makes it hard to go back to the old way of watching TV after trying it out. If you've been keen on getting yourself an Apple TV 4K, this new version is definitely the way to go. So yeah, go for it if you have 700 ringgit to spare. But if you already have one, there really isn't that much difference between the old and the new Apple TV. I don't think it's worth the upgrade. Thank you so much for watching this review video. Don't forget to subscribe to Switchinja if you haven't already. You can comment down below on what you'd like to see next and, like or dislike the video. It's all up to you. Anyway, that's it for me. Ciao!